All right, welcome back, everyone. Excuse me, to Lakers latest. I hope you guys have had a good weekend. I hope if you did anything, go out, spend time with friends, family. If you had a party, if you went to a game. Obviously, we're in week 2 of football. No Rams or Chargers games at home this week, so a little bit different. But yeah, excuse me. Hope everyone had a good week. Good weekend. Hope you could have a good upcoming week. A little bit different this week as I won't be coming to you from Studio City. I'm actually on the East Coast this week, just traveling, so that's why it looks a little different than the normal backdrop. I'm actually doing an outside version today. It's nice that it's not like 90 degrees here. I'm in New York, so it's like 70. Um, but yeah, so hope everyone had a good weekend. Hope everyone's gonna have a good upcoming weekend. Yeah, let's get the show on the road. First thing I have on the docket today is LeBron and Luka. So I think this happened sometime last week. It was either on TV or I read in an article that Austin Rivers doesn't like the LeBron Luka fit. He doesn't think they're a good fit. He goes on to talk about kind of in detail. Just have it here, make sure I'm not missing anything. Says he doesn't like the spit. Thinks LeBron wants to be the star of the show. He doesn't want to hand the keys over to Luka. He said he doesn't actually think LeBron was on board with handing the keys over to Luka as the franchise player, and that he's always been the guy. So he thinks that all like LeBron supporting him and everything, he thinks that's all for show. Um, Before I respond to that, let me just say I never understand like what it is with like NBA scrubs like Austin Rivers. Like these guys like are just stink in the NBA. Stink. Scrubs, like maybe he was a halfway decent bench player for like a season or two. Um Love to see Tom Thibodeau's opinion of him. He would have shred him into a million pieces. It would be hilarious. But why is it that like always guys who are just like scrubs in the NBA go on to become analysts and think like, oh, like I'm gonna do this. I know everything. Like I'm definitely right. I played in the NBA. Like yeah, I get you played in the NBA, dude. You're also a scrub. You know what I mean? You're also a nepo baby, Austin Rivers. You're a nepo baby. You were one of the highest recruited. You were the number one recruit in the country. Outside of a game winner versus North Carolina, you had a pretty disappointing freshman year, and then you had a very disappointing NBA career. So before I responded, I just wanted to say the guy's a complete scrub. It's the same thing with Kendrick Perkins, scrub. Now all of a sudden, he's a newscaster, and it's just such a weird thing that those guys haven't. So just wanted to say that first. Austin Rivers is just a total loser. Nepo baby loser. But let's dive into what he's actually saying. It's ridiculous. He's like, "Oh, LeBron, this has to be about me, 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 me." And I understand LeBron is a guy who's obviously been the star of the show. He's arguably the greatest player who's ever lived. Um, so obviously, he is someone who has been used to that. But this like insinuation that like he's like, "No, I have to be the star of the show. I'm not going to help Luke out," and that like all the texting Luka and calling Luka, after his extension and, texting him at EuroBasket, reposting him bawling like, oh, that's just all for show. He's actually not happy. It's like, dude, shut up. Like, give me a break. Like, LeBron James is not stupid. He's incredibly intelligent. He fully understands that this is most likely his final year. I'm not saying it is, but it's probably going to be his last year with the Lakers and potentially the last year of his career. Like, he's not going to throw a fit because Luka Doncic, a superstar in this league, someone who's accomplished things at his age that very few people in the NBA history have ever done. Somehow LeBron's going to be mad that like this guy's getting the spotlight. Like, first of all, two things. Like, LeBron gave his check mark on the Luka trade when it happened. Like, obviously, you get to get LeBron's seal of approval, right? So he's not going to be upset about it. Second of all, LeBron wants to win a championship. Like, this insinuation that, oh, LeBron cares more about being the guy than winning a championship is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. LeBron has one sole focus this season. That is competing and trying to win an NBA championship. The only way he's going to do that is developing strong chemistry with Luka Doncic, the future face of the franchise, after he leaves. Like, he's not going to just be this selfish individual. The me, 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 me. Oh, this happens to happen to me and this. Like, this guy's one of the most selfless people ever. He's donating to charities, creating all those foundations. Like, he's an incredible person. That's not who he is. Yes, he's used to the spotlight on him. He's arguably the greatest player of all time. He also understands he's 40 years old, or 41. I can't remember. He turned 41 this year, if he already is. Um, he knows this is about to be Luka's team. He's not stupid, and he wants to win a championship. Hopefully this year. Now, obviously, they need to add another piece, but Yeah, I just wanted to touch into that because I'm just so sick of garbage analysts saying stupid stuff like this with no validity, especially when it's coming from a nepo baby like Austin Rivers, who was just an embarrassment in the NBA, scrub, and just an awful all around analyst. Um, so yeah, just want to go on that. I know I did kind of have a tirade there, but it's just, oh god, it just irritates me. All right, next I'm gonna hop on. We're gonna go back to some potential trade targets. This one has not been discussed yet, but I did see it pop up the other day as a very realistic target for the Lakers, which is Keldon Johnson of the San Antonio Spurs. Keldon Johnson's 25 years old. He's been a pretty solid player in the league. You know, he averaged 19 one year. I think he averaged 12 and a half, although last year he was coming off the bench, averaging 12 and a half. But still really, really solid bench player, someone that I think definitely would fit on the Lakers. The question is, how do you get him there? So, there's one where I saw this. This is the trade they propose. I don't necessarily. I think it's probably a little bit too much. So I put together my own trade that I think is probably a little bit more realistic and fits the Lakers better. But the one I saw was the Lakers get Keldon Johnson, the Spurs get Rui, Dalton Connect in 2 seconds. So off the top of the bat, that's just way too much to give up for Keldon Johnson. Like I understand obviously Dalton Connect's trade value's down, but that doesn't mean you're just gonna put him in as a throw-in just for the sake of getting rid of him. He's still a very talented player. He's still a guy I have a lot of confidence in. It's gonna be difficult. You know, the hope is that he's overcome that whole crazy Mark Williams thing last year. But yeah, off the bat, I don't. That's not an upgrade. If you're giving up Rui, and you could have the argument who's better, Rui or Keldon Johnson. I think they're pretty similar. If Keldon started, he'd probably put up similar numbers to Ruby, but they're pretty similar. Rui, excuse me, I know I said Ruby. But yeah, I mean they're relatively pretty similar. But then when you add in Connect, like Ruby and I don't know, Rui and Connect, for Keldon Johnson straight up would even then that might be a little bit too much to give up. But then adding 2 seconds on top of that, that's insane. I put together a much more realistic trade that I think would probably make more sense, and that's Keldon Johnson, Julian, Champagny. I honestly can't remember how to pronounce that last guy's name. So, but you know who I'm talking about. Him and Keldon Johnson, and then the Spurs get Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, or excuse me, Vanderbilt, Dalton Connect, and 2 seconds. No. Yeah, hold on. Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, Dalton Connect in 2 seconds. Sorry, I had my trades mixed up there. So I think that's a much like you get Vanderbilt, Vincent, you're getting Connect, you're getting 2 seconds. The Lakers hold on to Rui so they can still start him, and now you have Johnson coming off the bench. Keldon Johnson makes $17.5 million for the next 2 seasons, so it's pretty relatively reasonable. It's not like in today's NBA, $17.5 million is not that much of the cap. It doesn't take too much of a chunk, and he's a guy that definitely could be a really solid fit for this team. So that's one to keep an eye on because especially that's the first trade's too much to give up. We have to be realistic here, but Keldon Johnson, Champagne for Vanderbilt, or Champagne. Sorry, I keep forgetting. For Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, Dalton Connect in 2 seconds. To me, is a much more realistic deal that allows you to keep Rui. The Spurs are still getting 2 seconds. They're getting salary cap relief. They're getting Dalton Connect, a good young player that could fit on their team. So I think that's a trade that would work well for both parties. All right, another thing that I saw some interest the Lakers could have is Walker Kessler. Now, Walker Kessler's a really solid player. I'm a really big Walker Kessler fan. And I think he'd be a great fit for the Lakers. Obviously, you have Ayton, but to me, this would probably be more future. If Ayton were to leave this year, Walker Kessler would be a great fit. Elite defensive player, really good rebounder, just a really, really good young player. I like him a lot. Now, obviously, anytime you're dealing with the Utah Jazz, you have to deal with Danny Ainge. So it's like if Walker Kessler was on another team, maybe they would want one first-round pick. But you're dealing with Danny Ainge, so he's gonna ask for everything. He's asked for 3 first-round picks. Dalton, like that's how the trade negotiations start with Danny Ainge. That's who he is. Like he's sorry, that was a fly. He's notorious for that. He asks for everything. He wants the picks. He wants the players. He wants it all. So it's obviously difficult negotiating with Danny Ainge in any circumstance. But I think this is one where you'd have to look further into it because I do think he would be a great fit for the team. This is the funny part. The website and again, I have seen some rumors for Walker Kessler, but one of the trades that I saw from this website, it's like, I don't know how some people are qualified to write this. It was Walker Kessler and Keontae George for Austin Reeves, Gabe Vincent, the 2031 first. First of all, Austin Reeves probably has more value than Walker Kessler. Well, actually, it's probably pretty close because Kessler's a rookie, but right there, like one-on-one, you could probably make that trade. But now they're also adding Keontae George, who's been a talented player, very inefficient, but maybe a guy who, if he goes to a better team, could be a better fit. And then the Lakers obviously having Gabe Vincent, and then a 2031 unprotected first is crazy. Crazy. Like, I'm not giving you an unprotected first that late. But, like, the point is, like, Austin Reeves and a, like, 2031 first would be it. But here's the ridiculous part about this deal. It's not possible. The Jazz are gaining $15 million more salary than they're handing out. So, like, if you try it on NBA Trade Machine, it doesn't even work. So it's just hilarious that people put these trade proposals together that clearly just don't understand the NBA salary cap. Like, the NBA salary cap is difficult to understand at first, like ad nauseum, because obviously you got the first Abra and the second Abra, and you gotta learn about all these intricacies of the salary cap, and it's very difficult. I know a decent amount, but even then, there's so much I still don't know about it, right? So yeah, it's just so funny that people put these ridiculous trades together. So obviously that trade's not really a realistic possibility, but a guy like Walker Kessler is someone that the Lakers should definitely be interested in looking into. So we'll see. We'll see as the season goes along. Again, I think all the talk right now is on Wiggins as the realistic trade target. I don't want to talk about him today because I already talked about him the past 3 times. So we'll see where that goes. I think that could eventually happen, but probably not till midseason. All right, we're gonna finish it off today as we've kind of been finishing off the last few weeks. Luka, EuroBasket is officially finished. Germany has won. Dennis Schroeder has won the MVP. I'm gonna take like 20 seconds at the end for Schroeder. But yeah, Dennis Schroeder's won the MVP. They had a top 5 of EuroBasket, and Luka was in the top 5. But I believe it was Schroeder, Franz Wagner, Luka, Giannis, and Sengun. Luka in the tournament averaged, these numbers are just absurd, 34.7 points, 8.6 rebounds, 7.1 assists per game. Just obviously outrageous. I think he had the first triple-double in a while. But yeah, he looked unbelievable. The other thing is Dennis Schroeder did win the MVP. I guess it's like you have to give the MVP to the team that won, because, like, in my mind, there's, like, you can't say it was more valuable to his team than Luka was, right? Like, Luka's numbers are outrageous. You take Luka away, Slovenia's nothing. You take Schroeder away, Germany probably won't win, but they still got Franz, they still got Mo. Like, they're still a really solid team. Whereas if you take Luka away, it's you're working with practically nothing. So theoretically, I feel like he should have won MVP, but I mean, I guess you have to give it to the guy, the best player in the team that won, which is actually Franz Wagner, but Dennis Schroeder, I guess, played better in this tournament. But yeah, just shout out Luka, like, crushed it. I'm assuming he's back in LA now. If he's not, he's going to be very soon, since training camp starts, I believe, next week. Or maybe in a couple, I can't remember specifically. But yeah, just shout out Luka. Absolutely had an insane EuroBasket. Obviously didn't win, but was unbelievable. Came in the top 5. All the accolades you want to see. So yeah, just shout out Luka. I still think he should have been MVP, but I guess we'll give it to Schroeder. One thing about Schroeder, I've seen a lot of people that say he's going to be in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Like, I don't know, man. I just feel like there should be an NBA Hall of Fame and a Basketball Hall of Fame, because, like, Dennis Schroeder, great. He's like, the thing about EuroBasket is it's like 6 games, dude. It's like 6 games. The other tournament Germany won is like 5-6 games. Like, I can't put a guy in the Hall of Fame because of that. I'm sorry, but he might get in the Hall of Fame because it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. So basketball accomplishments, right? Not just NBA accomplishments. Obviously, NBA accomplishments, he wouldn't come close, but yeah, that was just a quick 20-second thing. I wish they would split up basketball and NBA so we could focus on just that. But yeah, that's all I got for you today, guys. Obviously, we're just gearing up and getting closer and closer to the NBA regular season, and yeah, we can't wait. So yeah, looking forward to that preseason soon. And yeah, that's it for me today, guys, and I'll catch you tomorrow.